Newly minted star of the traitor says she is dealing with deceit and backstabbing both on and off camera. Is the end of a short-lived era. Roughly a year after reconciling with Shannon Beador on season 17 of The Real Housewives of Orange County, following a years-long feud, Tamra Judge has once again cut her co-star out of her life, along with the third member of the three Amigas, Vicki. Gunvalson, is largely played out on social media over the past week, as Tamra ramps up for the premiere of Peacock's The Traitors. The first three episodes starts streaming on Friday night, and Vicki dubs her a traitor in real life. There are some things I don't want to talk about because we go into production on season 18 next week, and obviously it's gonna be talked about. Tamra tells AT sitting down to chat at a Scotland themed activation in Los Angeles, put on by Peacock to promote season 2 of the hit competition series, which films in the UK country. I backed out of the Tres Amigas for some reasons that you probably will hear about an Orange County Housewives, she teases. You know, it's tough. It's so twisted and there's so many layers to it. It's hard for me to explain everything, but I didn't do anything to either one of them. After finding their way back to friendship, Tamra, Vicky, and Shannon went into business together, launching a series of live comedy shows themed around their trio. They only did a couple performances before Tamra says she started questioning whether this was the right move for her. Today, she is not speaking to either woman, save for social media sparring matches with Vicky. After we did the Phoenix show, the agent called me and said, "Would you like to do another show?" And I said, "You know what? I can't right now. I have too many things on my plate. I can go on this tour with them." She recalls. They had already known that they know my schedule's super busy. Tamra cites her podcasting schedule. She currently hosts two shows with former The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Teddy Mellencamp, and is soon to launch a third with fellow Bravo celebrity Kate Chastain as her main reason for backing out. "I just didn't have a lot of time to go traveling, and I guess Vicky didn't like that, and now she's calling me a traitor," Tamra adds. Tamra's feelings about the live shows, which were themed as a sort of party, became even more complicated after the Shannon September arrest for a DUI, which happened before the Phoenix performance. "It's difficult," she says. "I think that people are gonna understand my concerns, and as far as the Tres Amigas show, I felt like we should not have done it right after her DUI. I felt like she needed to concentrate on herself. Conversations were had between us about it and how I felt, and I don't want to give too much away." On top of that, Tamra says she caught wind of some backstabbing behavior from her so-called friends. "There were some things that he had said about me behind my back that got to me, and I didn't sit well with me," she says. "In 2024, I'm not going to be around toxic people that are, if you're my friend, be my friend. If I'm doing something or saying something you don't like, come to me and tell me. That's what Eddie does with me. We hold each other accountable." Tamra points to a conversation she had with Eddie behind the scenes at BraveCon as an example of what she means. "I told Teddy you shouldn't have done that with the Wiki situation on Squash the Beef," Tamra shares, referencing the moment Andy Cohen brought Teddy and Wiki face to face on stage in Las Vegas to settle their differences. Wiki's made her disdain known for Teddy ever since Tamra teamed up with a former reality star for their podcast. During the segment, Teddy told Wiki, "I originally thought that maybe you had issues between me and Tamra, being such close friends. Then I realized you were probably just triggered by someone who actually has cancer." Teddy, who's become an advocate for skin cancer awareness after own diagnosis, made the comment as a jab at Wiki's darkest RHOC chapter, during which she dated a man who the woman believed faked cancer or for attention. "I said, you weren't right," and she's like, "Okay, you're right, and those are the type of friends that I want." Tamra says, "I don't want friends that are stabbing me in the back and talking behind my back, so I wish them both all the success in the world, but until things change, I don't need to be a part of it." Shannon and Vicky are continuing with their tour, Noah's duo with special guests, while Tamra is set to start doing live shows with Eddie to promote their podcast. When the announcement for TS first theater date hit social, Tamra says Vicky freaked out. But let me just tell you, they knew I was doing that, Tamra says. I told them months ago that I was doing it. It's a one time thing that was put on by our podcast company, iHeart. So it wasn't to take Duchess Amiga show's place. Tamra says she's so happy Vicky and our Shannon are continuing with their tour and even offers her blessing to internet speculation they'll replace her with former RHOC star Kelly Dodd to form a new iteration of the Trees Amigas. Good for them, she says. I hope they sell a lot of tickets with that. Kelly entered the conversation about the friendship fell out on her YouTube show, Rick and Kelly's Daily Smash, slamming Tamara's social media post about her feud, including one comment comparing cutting Vicky and Shannon out of her life to taking the biggest dump. You know what? This is Satan doing its work, and that's who she is. Kelly said. I mean, look at her eyes. They're dark black. You can't even see. Like, she's evil. Pure evil. Well, Satan was saying that Tamara quips back, so Satan was telling you this. We are set up for a really good season. She half jokes, offering some hope for the future. Listen, I never say never. Tamara says of potentially mending things. I don't like the way I was talked to. I don't like the text messages that were sent to me. I've been nothing but supportive. There's also the Alexis Bellino factor, the rumor to return orange holder who entered the Braveverse with a surprise appearance at the BraveCon is now dating Shannon X, John Jansen appearing reportedly upsetting to Shannon. I don't even know if Alexis is coming back on the show, Tamara confesses. I mean, there's so much stuff on the internet saying that she has a contract. I don't know any of this. There's no girl code violation, Tamra adds in Alex's defense. They don't know each other, they didn't work together. I mean, is it ironic or is it karma? The night that Shannon got her DUI, she was texting me that Alexis was in the bar at the restaurant she was at, and she goes, what do I do if she goes after me? And I said, just be nice to her. At the time of Shannon's arrest, she and John were still talking but no longer officially dating. By November, she told AT she had ceased contact with him following the voluntary completion of a 28-day treatment program. Weeks after that, he was photographed with Alexis, sparking romance rumors between the two. It wasn't a calculated move, Tamra says. I actually was on my podcast and I said, listen, they ran into each other. Why is the press jumping to the conclusion that they're dating? Like, just because someone takes a picture together doesn't mean they're dating. And so, about a week went by and she called me and she goes, thank you so much for sticking up for me. That's exactly what it is. We took a picture together. Tamara says she non-stop talking to her after she publicly showed support for Alexis. Not long after, news broke that Alexis and John were officially dating. By Christmas, Alexis was posting about being in love with him, leading some to question whether she got with John to reclaim her spot on RHOC. And then a month later, we started seeing more pictures, and Alexis called me and said, we're dating now, she says, and I was floored. I had no idea. The complicated social web Tamara finds herself in on Housewives seems like the sort of thing that will prepare her for the game of lies, and they said that it's the traitors, but Tamara says she went into the experience questioning if she could handle it. I was scared to go, she admits. I've never been away from my family for that long. And not to have a phone and have contact with my husband and my kids, that was like a really hard for me. And I almost backed out because I was like, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it. And I think that I psyched myself out so much that when I got here the very first day we got into it and we got into the castle, I'm like, holy moly, this is amazing. And then by day three, I ended up getting sick. I got severely sick from head to toe, chills, sore throat. I lost my voice. I was actually out like 4 days. She continues. Tough notes she missed at a minimal filming. Going into production, Tamara had no clue who else would be joining her in Scotland. Season 2 switches up the format from Season 1, with an all-celebrity cast instead of half famous faces and half civilians. Tamara says the casting team led her to believe she was the only housewife this time around, which turned out to be the first bit of trickery at play in the game. Fellow housewife stars Phaedra Parks, Sherry Quilda and Larsa Pippen were all part of the ensemble, along with Bravo fan favorite Mercedes MJ, Javid of Shacks of Sunset fame. So going into it, I was a little bit scared. She says, "Now I'm on the plane to Scotland, which is a long flight, and a friend of mine said I'm hearing they're leaking who's out there. This is who it is. Now listen, if there's Johnny Bananas, watch out for him. If there's Dan Gisling, don't trust him. He's good at this and all this information." And I'm like, oh my god, I don't know who are these people. After meeting Dan, the winner of Big Brother 10, Tamra says her friend was right to warn her about him. That guy is vindictive, she says, going on to name Czech Survivor champ Parvati Shalom, Big Brother legend Janelle Pierzina, and Piedra as the other players to watch out for as the season unfolds. Piedra, I mean, she really fooled us all, Tamara says. She will never talk game strategy with anybody. She will pray for us, which everyone's like, oh, Piedra's so sweet. You're praying for us all the time. I'm like, yeah, you're praying for us, but why aren't you talking game strategy? What is going on? Fans can tune in to see how Tamra fares on the Traitors when the show starts streaming on Peacock on Friday. The first three episodes of season 2 debut at 9 p.m. AT, 6 p.m. PT, with new episodes premiering on Thursdays at 9 p.m. AT, 6 p.m. PT. If you want to hear more news like this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe on channel so you can be notified when we make new news. Thank you for being with us and we hope you will stay with us.